I messaged a guy that I did not talk to for like 8 years, literally like hooked up with him like 8 years ago. And I randomly thought about him, like, you know, like when you're single at like 28, you start thinking about, oh, maybe from the past, like this is a good guy. And then when I sent bars, it didn't say delivered. So I was like, did he block me? So then I did this. Then he unblocked me and said, what's up, this is random. I said, well, why did you block me? He said, why are you texting me? I said, whoa, I don't know, to catch up. He said, it's been 8 years. I said, damn, I didn't know people can talk again. My bad. He was like, I have a wife and kids now.
She reached out to the nice guy she rejected 8 years ago, and then this happened. I'm still a little bit sick, but I wanted to make a video for you guys, so be sure to like, subscribe, path of progress. Let's get into it. And you guys, real quick, if you could just do me a favor and go check out the second channel. It's less than a week old, and we're trying to get it monetized. The channel is called Griffin Mind Clips. But dude, just look at all the content over here. We're killing it so far. I'll leave a link in the top of the description and in the pinned comment, so be sure to check that out. But let's get back into the video.
I messaged a guy that I did not talk to for like 8 years, literally like hooked up with him like 8 years ago. And I randomly thought about him, like, you know, like when you're single at like 28, you start thinking about, oh, maybe from the past, like this is a good guy. Yeah, no, This is what went down. First I messaged him, hey stranger. He said, sorry, who's this? I said, Leah Bars. And then when I said, well, I said Leah, haha, and then I said bars. And then when I sent bars, it didn't say delivered. So I was like, did he block me? So then I did this. I went to his Venmo and I sent him $1 and I said, did you block me? And then he unblocked me and said, what's up, this is random. I said, well, why did you block me? He said, why are you texting me? I said, whoa, I don't know, to catch up. He's like, it's been 8 years. I said, damn, I didn't know people can talk again. My bad. He's like, I have a wife and kids now. Plot twist, my bad. He said, think you're a weirdo. I said, right back at you. And then the conversation just ended, and honestly woke up mortified. So please stitch this with any other stories that you have that are similar or worse than this, so it makes me feel better about my decisions. Thank you.
So this right here is the perfect example of the epiphany stage. What is the epiphany stage? The epiphany stage is a little bit similar to the wall, okay? It's basically when women realize that their biological clock is ticking. Their time clock is running out, and they need to find a guy to settle down with and give them children. So what does she do? She starts recounting all of her past experiences in her head. All of them, okay? And she's wondering, I wonder how Chad is doing. How's Brad doing? Oh yeah, and those frat guys in college, how are they doing? And then obviously she starts to hit some of them up. I'm sure this is not the only guy that she texted as well. She probably texted a few different guys just to see where they're at in life, to see if they could potentially reconnect. But nah, bro, those alpha chads, they moved on. They've started families, literally. And it's such a funny response too, just saying, you're weird. I don't want to talk to you. And I can basically guarantee you, she is around this 28 to 31 mark. Right there. Read some comments. You rejected me in your prime, now I won't accept you on your decline. Exactly. You play hard to get, you become hard to want. Yeah. That is so true. Now she will try and ruin what he has built up after those 8 years. You know, there's always potential for something like that. You know, the thing is, I'm really not saying that you shouldn't date these women, but bro, you need to realize where they are at in life. When some of these women realize that their time is running out, they might move a little bit sketchy. Okay? They might move a little bit suspicious. They might try and lock you down in some nefarious ways. Or she'll say, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm on birth control. So again, I'm not saying not to date them, but dude, just be careful and understand where they are at in life.
I was 24. I was with a really nice guy. He was a really nice guy, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want a really nice guy when I was 24, right? And so I ended things. I went back on the scene. I mean, things worked out. I got married, I got a baby. But relatively speaking, if things didn't work out, and I said to myself, you know what? I do want a nice guy. I do want someone who's stable. I do want someone who's loving. Now that I'm older, I'm more reflective. I could say I've now changed my mind and I want to reconsider this. Now, whether or not he wants to give me a second chance, I would say he'd be dumb for doing so. But for me to go back, because I was the one who left, he was a good person. Honest. What I wanted has now changed.
Well, what if he wanted change too?
And now he don't want me?
Yeah.
I mean,
it don't be happening.
Sometimes you come to the realization that what that person was is exactly what you needed. And that's why you do need to go back. Again, whether or not they want to give you a chance is up to them.
Yeah, of course, bro. That's the epiphany phase. And it's kind of weird because she's speaking like she's single, but at the same time, she's married and has a kid. So I don't know exactly what's going on there, but this is what happens, man. When women get older, they get into that epiphany stage. They realize, wow, that good and nice guy back in my early 20s, you know, when I was getting pumped and dumped by all of those chads, but he was just constantly giving me so much emotional support. He was such a good guy. I really think he was actually the one for me. So now, after I've run up my notch count, now I want to settle down with him. And we're going to see it more and more and more and more. This is going to be the story for millions of women, bro. Millions of them.
Whoever said men love when women shoot their shot is a damn lie. Because I slid into some men's DMs and I let him know he was handsome. And I told him, like, you know, you're handsome and I might just let you take me to lunch. and he gonna leave me on red.
I bet the he did leave you on red. It ain't no way y'all don't be thinking before y'all say shit, G. You really DM that man that said that shit and you expected a response? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I wish a woman would, gang. If a woman ever DM me and say, hey, you handsome, I just might let you spend your money on me.
It is just the arrogance, bro. That's it.
Previously, my relationships, like, they just stepped up more financially. Especially since he's, like, 23. I expected him to, like, just buy me more stuff.
But you guys were only together for a month, so what were your expectations in terms of what he should have been buying you?
I sent him a picture of the Chanel bag that I wanted, and he didn't, like, buy me it. I feel like if a girl is sending you something, like, oh, this bag is so cute, like, why is it not at the front of my doorstep the next day?
He's 23, bro.
Yeah.
How much do you think he spent on you total?
I don't know. We went on a date like at least once a week. 200 per date?
Did you guys hook up?
No.
If she wanted that, then it's okay to ask for it.
It's okay for her to ask for a $2,000 bag?
I mean, yeah, I think it's okay. You know, there's a guy out there that will actually give it to you if he really likes you.
Right? If I'm dating you, like, you know, I feel like you should understand me, you know? You know I want that bag.
That sounds more like a sugar daddy than a boyfriend.
No,
yeah, it really does. And it's really hypocritical that you didn't even, like, care to know what job he had, but you want his money.
I don't want his money. I just feel like it's expected.
You want a guy to spend $2,000 on you within the first month. You got to bump way up the age you're willing to date. I'm talking 40 plus. Unless he's a major simp, nobody under 40 is spending $2,000 on a girl they just met.
Okay.
Bro, this is the TikTok brain trauma right here. She's saying, no, I don't even want his money. I just want him to spend money on me. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, the thing is, with so many of these modern chicks, there is genuinely zero difference between them and a pay-to-play woman. Like, genuinely, someone in the comments explain to me, what's the difference between the two? Bro, it's like you can almost make the argument to do pay-to-play instead, because at least she doesn't give you a headache and she'll leave the next day. But these chicks, man, they are not looking for a relationship. They're not looking for commitment. They're not looking for anything serious. They are explicitly looking for a wallet. And that's it. Man, I'm just going to tell you over and over, get out of the West. Get out, bro. You don't have to deal with this shit. You go somewhere more traditional and you find girls that are actually just, they want to go on a date. They want to get to know a guy, settle down, start a family. They're not so hyper fixated on the money. Unless you go to like Ukraine or Russia. I've heard they have a lot of gold diggers over there. Anyway, bro, let's keep going.
He tells you you can't go to the club without him. Will you listen to him?
Fuck no. I'm not going for men. I'm going for myself. And because I love dancing too.
If a man came and he grinded on you in the club, how would he feel?
Is it with my consent?
I mean, would you consent?
If I want to consent, that's different. But if I don't want to consent, that's gonna be different too.
Would you?
If I actually say yes, you can grab my ass. Yes, you can grab my ass.
What the fuck? And then he wouldn't.
He'll say, yeah, he'll say whatever you want to.
He'll say he'll be okay.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be my body.
I'm not sure.
He's not sure.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you trust her?
Yeah.
You have to think about that, man.
Yeah, I trust in her.
That is fucking humiliating, bro. Can you imagine your chick talks this way? Imagine taking a woman like this seriously. Imagine considering a woman like this like wife quality and you want to put a baby in that. How a woman acts is a direct reflection of a man's frame. Completely. If she's out there dancing, letting random guys grab her, she's talking like a 304, you just know this dude's a beta. Beta Bob. There are no masculine dudes that put up with behavior like that.
Talking to multiple people at once is really weird because you'll have one guy that barely acknowledges you and barely even says good morning, and then you'll have another one that asks you for photo updates of the garden that you're growing. Take a guess as to which one you like more.
If we were to get together, what would you expect me to pay for in the relationship?
Going out to eat, and then just like little things. And eventually, if we're going to live together and all that, I'd expect you to take on more responsibility.
I'm covering rent, light, internet, groceries, your hair, nails, makeup, lashes, lipstick, shoes, clothes, everything?
Yeah, why not? Can you do it?
Of course, but why should I?
Because you're a man.
So because I'm a man, I'm expected to cover everything if I were to date you.
Right, and I'm a woman, right? And you'd expect me to put out, correct?
Absolutely.
Like you would expect to have relationships with me.
I mean, absolutely.
So I'd expect something back because I could at one point bear your children, and I would expect if I'm going to have 9 months of pregnancy to be able to have a husband who can take care of me.
Is this a new mindset that you have, or did you always think this way?
It's fairly new. I think when I was younger, there were points where I was more okay with paying and things like that, and I just found that it really does not benefit you at the end of the day. Like, you could pay and you could like really, really give more, but it's not the best. If you think about it, the world was kind of built for men.
In what ways?
I mean, it's a patriarchy. I know that's everybody hates that word. If you're a man, you probably hate that word, but the system is kind of designed for men, you know?
Do you think we'd still have as much success as we are as a society if we were in a matriarchy?
I'm not sure, but I do think that, you know, we live in a patriarchal society and there is still like so much misogyny in the world, and that's just the truth, you know, it's just the truth.
You know, I really don't have a problem with women that want to be taken care of. Like, I really don't, because I'm a fan of traditional gender roles. But what she said is kind of a typical response that you would hear a lot of women say. They essentially say, well, if you pay for everything, then I'll give you bedroom access and children. Okay, fine. So that's the deal. But why would you get picked over thousands of other women that do that exact same thing? Why? And that's it, bro. A lot of these women, they have boiled themselves down to just giving bedroom activities. They've just boiled themselves down to a body. That's it. You don't offer anything else. You don't bring anything else to the table. So why would this man that is obviously financially successful, if he's able to fully take care of you, why would he take you seriously over all of these other women that are doing exactly the same thing?